Hello and welcome to tonight's free video. It is Monday, July 6th, 2020. Okay, and today we're just doing a daily recap of what happened in the markets today, right? So just to start off, just taking a look here at the SPY. This is what the daily chart ended up looking like at the market close, right? We kind of had this little, it's almost a doji, right? You could consider it a doji. It's a really neutral candle, but the one thing you can take away from it is if we look over here on the 2-hour chart. Okay, so I'll just start by showing you I have this 315 level that it has held as resistance, right? Couldn't get up here, couldn't get up here, resistance again, and then once it broke above overnight over this past, this is the pre-market here. Once it got above, right, it held as support down here. Okay, so yeah, this is one of my levels. And one thing that you can easily see is that ever since it got above, it wouldn't break below, but it wasn't really going anywhere either. So today was one of these slow days, which is why I created this doji looking candle where we just trended in a channel the whole day, right? So we didn't go anywhere, we didn't break out of the channel, we just stayed put, right? But the one thing that you can note is that this actually does happen quite often. In recent weeks, I would say, where we kind of just create this channel, but the real move happens overnight, right? So now, overnight, right, what a lot of people are doing is they're, at the end of the day, they're loading up on their calls, and in the morning they'll sell it, right? And yeah, today was just another example of that, right? But the market did push higher once again. But again, like I was saying, it was one of those days where not too much is going on. So I was done trading myself, probably within the first hour and a half, I like to say. And I was done and I was off my screens because there's no point in just sitting there and watching this kind of choppy price action. So I'll get into my trade a little later, but first I'm going to dive into Apple, what Apple did today. So in the previous video, I tried to explain that Apple is one of my favorite stocks to trade just because it has that tight spread for the premiums, and I scalp in particular for the most part. But onto Apple. So today we have this previous all-time high. We were gapping up here. Okay, so once I saw the gap up, I'm thinking to myself, okay, we might see this thing go higher, push higher. We had a lot of positive news coming out right before the open. So if I show you on the 2-hour chart, right? So we had this previous high here, and this becomes a level that you'd want to pay attention to during this session, right? So we gap up, and you're either going to see, after this gap up, you're either going to see profit taking, right? Or you're going to see a continuation, which is a strong bullish signal. And so I alerted this level here in pre-market in the group that I have to watch above 371, as that would be a good entry. And if you did take this, I mean, you wouldn't have been red today. You couldn't have been red, really. But yeah, it was a valid trade. And I can even show you on the 5-minute chart here. Yeah, so I had this pre-market level tagged, and yeah, so it didn't do anything except it just trended up all day. The only reason why I didn't trade it myself is because I wasn't liking the premium and how it was moving. It wasn't really moving at all today, and I saw how SPY was moving, so I wasn't too interested. But yeah, this would have been a nice trade today. And like this is an example too. So you see all these green candles, but it really only moved $2 and really all this price action right here. So yeah, got to about 12 o'clock noon, and then we just started fading the rest of the day, and then we had that little bounce at the end of day. Yeah, so on to what I actually traded today was Nvidia here. I'll just quickly show you the daily chart. All right, so for the daily chart here, what I noticed in pre-market and what I called out to the group was that we are gapping up and we are actually opening above what was the previous all-time high, right? So if I could just actually make that a little easier on myself, let's do that there. We were opening above this level here. It hasn't become a level for me just yet, but yeah. So let me just show you down here. Again, the 2-hour chart. So this was the previous all-time high, right? Based on Thursday's close, right? We had a long weekend. And yeah, we saw this gap up here, and this level became support, right? And so typically once you see this gap up, I always expect a pull in for some profit taking and then a push up after to see if the push up after really is just what tells me if people are still interested in this play or not, right? And so we saw that. I scalped it. I'll dive into that in just a second, but I scalped it up. Quick premium, and I had stuck my money off the table because I wasn't really liking the price action, like I was saying, with the market overall. And I was done my day, and I just watched for the rest of the day. But again, same thing. We came up to here in about 11 noonish sort of time. We faded for the rest of the session until the close. So if I come over here, right? So again, it's 11:30 noonish area. We started to fade for the rest of the session back to pretty much where we opened, down at these 389 levels, and then again, same thing as Apple, we pushed back up into the close, right? And so I can quickly show you where I became interested. Okay. So I was watching how we pushed up, pulled back, and pushed up again, and then I was watching to see what we would do here. Okay, and then I got long in this area here, and I cut right up here. And I was done. Yes, I could have held for this move on, sold somewhere up here or something like that, or I could have held for the rest of the day. That's not what my goal is as a scalper. My goal is to just quick entries and then quick exits. I exited on this candle, this first red candle here. But yeah, I took my profits for the day, and I was happy with that. I was done. So Tesla was also something that was in play today, as we gapped up above the previous all-time high here, which was actually set on this Thursday, the last trading day. And yeah, we had an extremely bullish day today. This thing has just been taking off recently. So if I drill down here on the 1-minute chart, again, I had alerted into the group that above this pre-market level here would be a very good trade, just because we already gapped up so much, and this is something that just got our price target raised this morning, so you could see further upside to this, and that is what happened today. So we just pretty much trended the whole day. So again, you take this up here, right, and yeah, you just hold on to it the whole day, and if you really wanted to. Me, I'm not interested in that. Well, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about how I trade. My style of trading, I like to buy in at bounces. So this is definitely somewhere where I would have got interested. I was actually watching this because if you look back at the NVIDIA trade that I showed you, this was around the same time where I entered in for my scalp on NVIDIA. Um, and yeah, I trade pullbacks. Uh, but yeah, this was definitely a good trade if you were on there. I was actually watching. I was gonna pull the trigger on it around here. The only thing is, The premiums were a little bit spiked, especially since it was a Monday, so that's when premiums are at their juiciest, for a lack of a better word. But yeah, they are. That was a really good trade today. Um, Netflix. So Netflix was also a good trade today. These are all really good trades because they're all attacking their all-time highs, right? All of these trades are attacking their all-time highs. So as you can see, this was a very strong day today again, gapping up above the close, and we pushed higher. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you, right? Um, I had seen this early in the morning and I wasn't really too interested in it just because of all this, right? When I see stocks doing this, this is not when I want to trade. And so when I had seen this, I was already, I think by this, I think I had traded already by 10-ish, around there. That's when I traded my Nvidia trade. But yeah, by then I was already, I wasn't focused on Netflix anymore, right? Although when you do see price action like this, that means that eventually there is going to be an explosion, right? And by explosion, I mean this, what happened here, how we pushed all the way up, right? Because if you guys don't know, this is what is called a squeeze, right? It's squeezing here, right? Buyers down here pushing this price up, and sellers up here pushing the price down until one side pretty much has more conviction than the other side, right? So in this case, it was the buyers, and they pushed it all the way up here, right? Sellers then stepped in later on, faded it um, down to this 489 level, 488 level, and then they pushed, buyers stepped in again and began to push it back up, right? Okay, and lastly, I'm just gonna quickly show you Amazon. This again, attacking its all-time high right here at this 29.54 level, which was set again last Thursday, and it pushed up aggressively through that level and up into this 30.59, sorry, level. Um, so yeah, that's often what I like to do when I see these kind of plays setting up, right? So if you look at this, right, this was the previous all-time high, right? Then today, we gap up above this close, we gap up here, and we are holding this level down here, right? That shows me buyers are still interested up here, right? So scalping above this level here is actually quite valid, right? For a move up, because buyers are still interested in it, right? And that's exactly what happened today. If you did scalp this, right, you would see that getting in anywhere down here or even getting in up here at this higher day for the higher, anticipating a higher day break would have been an extremely valid trade, right? And then yeah, we kind of just channeled after we broke up a little bit, channeled for a bit, and then we just continued higher. So this was something that really moved today, a really strong move, in fact. And yeah, I would be interested to see what it does tomorrow. So that is going to wrap up tonight's free video. If you are interested in joining my group, it is free at the moment. I do post content in there every single day. So in the mornings, I'll post my pre-market picks. I'm also active in there while I'm trading and stuff. So if you are interested in that, if you think that I can provide you some value or some information that you didn't know before, please just hit the description box. I have my email posted there. Email me, and yeah, we can just I'll get you in the group if you're really interested in it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and that's all.